Xerfi Global has recently published a study on world sports franchise business. Despite slow macroeconomic conditions in key sports markets such as North America, Europe and Latin America, the sector has proven robust and has continued to see its total revenue grow. Income, which is generated by ticket sales and stadium revenues, as well as sponsorship, advertising, licensing and media rights, will have increased roughly 12% on 2013 to reach approximately 110 billion euros in 2014. This growth is mainly driven by broadcasting rights, which have strongly increased in recent years, reflecting fiercer competition between large media companies. Broadcasting rights generated about 25% of global sports revenue in 2014, behind sponsorships and commercial partnerships at 31% and ticket sales at 30%, with the remaining 14% made up of other revenues. Nevertheless, broadcasting rights grew at a particularly fast pace during 2011 to 2014, giving an annual average growth rate of 11%, compared to 9% for sponsorships and commercial partnerships and 3.9% growth in ticket sales. On the cost side, it is salaries and other player-related expenses which continue to account for the largest cost item, as top players are key assets for sports performances, but also for brand value due to the visibility they generate for their club. These often considerable outflows, however, do not go by unnoticed by regulators. In the European Football League, for example, costs have reached such a level that authorities have decided to put major regulatory changes in place to limit expenses in the name of financial fair play. As a result, European football clubs have been pushed to change their business models to cut back on costs. In this case, it seems regulation has worked in their favour, as losses are now receding. The average net margin of professional European football franchises was minus 12.7% in 2012, but receded to minus 7.7% in 2013, marking the first improvement in around 7 years. Regulation has also had a considerable influence on North American franchises' results. More extensive revenue-sharing regulation allows North American sports franchises to be more profitable overall with lower disparities. So what moves are sports franchises making to ensure profitability continues to grow? They are focusing on taking initiatives to expand their fan or customer base and thus boost demand in new markets, especially in Asia and the large emerging markets. European football clubs in particular are targeting large markets with low football penetration rates, such as the US, as well as Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and, to a lesser extent, Africa. While American sports leagues have been targeting markets such as China, India, Latin America, and Africa. Furthermore, they are continuing to leverage precious club brand value through sponsorships, licensing agreements, and an increasingly wide range of merchandise. Stadium ownership or sponsorship is another tool used to increase revenue, or at least to reduce the financial burden of stadium management. Income is generated via food and beverage and retail concessions, parking revenues, or naming rights agreements. And it goes without saying that franchises are continuing to milk their cash cows that come in the form of media rights, which are generally negotiated on league levels, but typically favour larger, more valuable clubs with greater brand visibility. Winning sports events is thus no longer necessarily the name of the game, but rather a, albeit highly valuable, part of brand management.